Today we're looking at LeetCode question 27, remove element. Given an integer array nums and an integer val, remove all occurrences of val in nums in place. The order of the elements may be changed. Then return the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val. Consider the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val be k. To get accepted, you need to do the following things. Change the array nums such that the first k elements of nums contain the elements which are not equal to val. The remaining elements of nums are not important, as well as the size of nums. Return k. The approach that we're going to be taking today is the two-pointer technique. Here are our 2 pointers, and it'll have a time complexity of O of n and a space complexity of O of 1 constant, and it'll be the optimal approach to this problem. Now let's walk through an example where nums is equal to 3, 2, 2 and 3, and the val that we want to remove is equal to 3. So step 1, we need to initialize a pointer at the 0th position of nums, which will be used to load nums not equal to val. So we'll put that pointer here, pointing at 3. Step 2, loop over each number in the array. We'll use a for loop, and our second pointer will be j, and we'll put that here. We'll apply the following logic to determine whether nums j needs to be loaded into nums I. So if nums j, which is 3, doesn't equal val, which it does, so we skip that. Next we increment j, that's equal to 1, and update the pointer. We check if nums j, which is 2, doesn't equal val, which is 3, which is correct. We then want to load nums j into nums I. So we can see nums j, which is 2, and we then want to replace the 3 where nums I is with the 2. We then increment the I pointer, so we'll move that along 1. And then we want to increment j, updating that to now be 2. So we'll move the pointer. Then we want to check if nums j doesn't equal val. Nums j is 2 and val is 3, so that's now correct. So we then want to load nums j into nums I, so we'll put a 2 in here. And then we want to increment I. So I is now equal to 2. We update the pointer. And then we want to increment j. So j is now going to be set equal to 3. So we'll update the pointer. We want to check if nums j, which is 3, doesn't equal 3. Well, it does, so we'll skip that. And then we'll go back up and we'll increment j again. J is now equal to 4. 4 is equal to nums.length, so we now break out of the loop. And then step 3, we return I. Note that the first ith elements in the nums array have had 3 removed. Then we come over here and we return I. Well, thank you very much for following the video. It's as easy as that. Why not pause the video and try to implement a solution yourself? If not, stay tuned for my solution next. Today we're going to look at LeetCode Problem 27, remove element. We're going to be doing a solution today in Java. Let's get right into it. So given an integer array nums and an integer val, remove all occurrences of val in nums in place. The order of elements may be changed. Then return the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val. Consider the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val be k. To get accepted, you need to do the following things. Change the array nums such that the first k elements of nums contain the elements which are not equal to val. The remaining elements of nums are not important, as well as the size of nums. And secondly, you want to then return k. So the approach that we're going to be taking today is the two-pointer technique. And I think the first thing that I like to discuss are the edge cases that I can think of. So an edge case would be where you're given, where nums has a length of 0. So in that scenario, you want to return 0 because k is obviously 0. We haven't loaded any numbers into nums that don't match val because there is no nums. Secondly, you've got a scenario where every number in nums is equal to val. Again, you're going to want to return 0. And then the final sort of scenario I can think of is where we can have a look at the example here, where you've got something like this for nums, and the val that you're looking at is 2. So you can see that some of the numbers in nums do not equal val, whereas there's 3 scenarios where the num does actually equal val, so you want to remove them, and you get an output something like this. Cool, so let's get into it. So int, this is our first counter, which I'll call I. This is going to relate to what they've called k, but I like to call my counters I. And then we'll declare a for loop that doesn't look anything like that. For int I, this is our second counter, which equals 0. And then we'll say while I is less than nums.length. And then we want to increase II++. So this second, this II pointer, this is going to basically iterate over every single number in nums, and I is where we're going to load any number that we come across that does not equal val. So that's what these 2 pointers are going to do. So we'll see if nums II doesn't equal val, then we want to set nums I equal to nums II, and then we want to increment I++, and then finally we just want to come in here and we want to return I, which, as I mentioned previously, I is basically k. Is k. Which, if we look up here, the first k element of nums. So consider the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val be k. So these are all of the numbers that don't equal val, which is I. Cool. So let's run that, see if it works. It does not, because I've used JavaScript syntax. Cool. And then let's submit it and see if it passes all of the tests and how it performs. Cool. So it beats 100% for runtime and 9.92% for memory. Cool. So the time complexity of this solution is O of n, because obviously it has to iterate over every item in nums. And the space complexity is O of 1 constant. This is the optimal solution to the problem. If you like the video, please click like, and hopefully you can click subscribe, because that would really help me out. And if there's anything that you would like to see in the future, or if you've got anything that you think I can improve on, then please let me know in the comments below, and good luck with your interviews. Thank you very much for watching.